Chris, you're serving as one of the judges for the Mobile Campaign Management and Analysis category of the Next Wave Awards. It's often said that great new business ideas are those that solve a problem. What problems are this year's finalists solving?
It's a great question because, as we're talking to brands here and they're looking at what consumer behavior is, and they're seeing consumers spending upwards of 20% of their time on mobile,
Right.
but the spend is tiny. So your question is dead on, which is, I think for marketers and brands, they're trying to figure out, how do I bring that spend over? How do I make that an authentic experience, and take advantage of the context of mobile and really drive ROI for the brand? And so I think one of the biggest issues we have right now is, really understanding what the key performance metrics are and what the experience is, and then ultimately driving that through to returns for brands. And we're not even through the first inning, I think, in trying to figure this out.
What's it going to look like as this matures? What are your tips? How can companies do this?
I think the biggest issue is, as we've had with any new form of medium, mobile, it's its own form, and to use it, you need to be authentic to it and you need to be organic to it. It's one of the most personal experiences you can have. It's one of the most personal communications a brand can have with a consumer. And the brands have the advantage, if they're smart about it, of understanding the context, of knowing where you are physically, what your behavior through the physical world is, and what value can they bring to you at that moment in time. So whether or not it's one of the examples like Pogo, where I'm standing outside of Giant Stadium in Momo's bar, wishing that I could be in there watching my Giants play.
Wish I was in row 50 or lower.
And to be able to have a brand like Coors say, wow, you're in Momo's, and the Giants have 50 unsold seats that are going to go empty, and have that brand say, I know you're in the bar right beside the stadium, and I know you're having a Coors beer right now. And boy, wouldn't it be cool if I could just take that consumer that's a brand loyalist and just surprise and delight them with an experience to go into the stadium and watch the game. All that technology exists. So that's my point about taking advantage of what the form allows, and bring these amazing new experiences.
Mobile has already started to mature as a platform. What are the standards that you're seeing emerge?
The click-through rate, which was just such a crutch of the digital age, which the Chia Pet clickers, I like to call them, it worked enough that everyone got comfortable with it. No one was excited by it. And I think what we found in mobile, that click-through rate on mobile banners is not going to do it for anybody. It's not working for the consumer. It's not working for the brand. So we really need to find out other metrics around engagement with consumers taking actions that validate the brand. So whether or not they're amplifying their experience with the brand by tweeting or posting on Facebook and giving them really interesting content, or opportunities to express their feelings about the brand in really organic ways. And those are the metrics that matter. They're really about engagement and fulfillment.
The further we can get away from clicks, I know that they kind of give us trends and things like that, but I don't think that's the right one. What are the areas in mobile that are still underserved? Where do we need new standards and tools?
Again, we're just so early in the space, but I do think, in terms of tools that I'm seeing come together, you have companies like Jaguar that has the location graph, where you can look at location behavior over time. Another company that I'm really excited about is a company called Zoov. So Stephanie from Verizon was talking about them earlier today. But when you pick up your phone and you dial ** NFL, it's a way for the NFL to connect directly with their consumer for the first time and have a relationship that's not tied up with Fox or the network. But the really cool thing is, to your question, is that the data and the analytics that sit underneath that. Now the NFL knows, all the people that are calling in over the course of a season, their smartphones, their smartphone numbers, the locations that they're in, their likely team affinities, so they can go back to those folks and say, hey, listen, we've got a great Monday night game coming up with your team playing another team, make sure that you watch it, or promotions or other ways to engage with the consumer. So I think we're seeing these devices now give us data and analytics that we've never seen before, that's allowing people to connect directly, with the consumer in great ways.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
To any of you watching, grab the player button and drag it all the way back to the beginning and watch this interview again, because I guarantee you're going to come out with some great new ideas. Chris, so smart. Oh, and by the way, it was a chia head, not a chia pet. It was really fun to grow. Thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely. And anyone who wants some extra thoughts on that, ** Chris is my phone number. Get your vanity phone numbers. They're coming out right now this fall.
I need my vanity phone number.
Yes, you do.
Chris, thank you so much.
All right.